Hello, name's Annan. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you very much, dear viewer. Today, I got quite a treat of a build for you. I have never played this build before. I merely assembled it. I got a pretty good idea what I want to do with it. I got a game plan in terms of what I want to buy, what I want to stick with, and we'll see whether or not this ends up being the optimal way of playing this particular build or not. I have not used pretty much any of these Arcana in the combination that I assembled them, or individually even. So I'm quite curious to find out along the journey how well I can play with the hand that has been dealt to me. Let's put it that way. Today's build is called Stunning Moves. It is a pure lightning build, so that's a plus. Lightning is pretty damn good. And this build has the idea of stunning our enemies for the longest time possible, suppressing them entirely, not necessarily using status effects like I usually would, but using the stun mechanic in Wizard of Legend, which, to my understanding, just refers to attack interruptions. So, picture this. You're the player, you're using Aqua Beam against an enemy, and you get struck by an attack. This will instantly cancel your Aqua Beam, and since there's always a short delay in between using abilities, which can be reduced using items like Silver Spinning Top, you will effectively be stunned for like a second or so, which is pretty devastating at times. You always want to avoid that as a player. That's why you try to perfectionize dodging enemies, especially bosses, because otherwise you get caught up in an attack, and then another attack follows, and so on and so forth down the chain of attacks, and you die pretty quickly without really ever being able to do anything against it, since you're effectively stun locked. Now we're going to try and inflict this scenario onto our enemies. This is kind of difficult, as it's not a one-on-one scenario. Usually it's a one-on-many. You are one, and you have to stun many enemies at a given time and manage that stun time on them. So when an enemy tries to attack you, they are mid-attack, say they are swinging their sword, and you hit them with anything, this will also cancel their attack. It will reset the attack timer, and certain enemies behave weirdly regarding this, such as the big buff black guys. If you freeze them, when you freeze them and then you attack them, so you unfreeze them, they will immediately attack. They do not care about anything at that point. So there are exceptions to the rule, but the usual way is gonna be, yeah, you attack an enemy, it's gonna be stun locked as long as you keep hitting it over and over and over again. And that's what we're gonna strive to do. Now, with this, our starting relic is gonna help a lot, but we'll get to that in a second here. I would suggest let's start with our robe. I don't think I forgot anything. We'll get to the Arcana later, that's quite interesting. So, for our robe, I decided to go for the Fury Robe, which increases our signature charge by 20% and our signature damage by 25%, which is quite neat. I do intend to cast my signature a lot. That's the sole reason I'm running this. Also, this robe is supported pretty well as the whole build theme by our starting relic, which this theme is sort of based on. But I probably would have assembled this even if this item did not exist in the game as is. It is a painting part, so that's spicy already. It's the offensive... where is it? Electrifying Smock. Each lightning arcana, each lightning arcana unlocked increases the chance to increase the stun duration and signature charge on arcana used. This is pretty damn nifty. It currently has a 20% chance to proc that effect, or proc those effects, plural, right? Which is quite spicy. I got all the lightning arcana unlocked, so obviously this is maxed out. It is fantastic. It's a painting part, so it stacks with other very good items. It gives us more signature charge, working well with the Fury, and it increases the stun duration on Arcana. Potentially, for the most part, but when you hit many times all over with a multi-hit Arcana in a single cast, this is very likely to proc. Now, I have, in practice, no experience with this whatsoever. Usually, when I get this, I use it because it's a painting part, and it gives you a lot of extra signature charge. I have no clue about the stun. We will find that out along the way. I am very curious about that. We might even lose the run, as this build isn't super strong in terms of dealing damage right away, and I'm really inexperienced using these Arcana that we're going to be getting to now. This is the spicy part. So, we're using mostly spherical Arcana. Namely, our basic Radiant Blast. Release a surge of electric energy in a circular area, can be charged for boosted effect. Charged Blast deals extra damage and stuns for a longer duration. So, as the enhanced version suggests, this ability does stun your enemies. So it automatically qualifies for this build. It is a charged Arcana with a very low, albeit very wide range attack. It is certainly satisfying, but to me personally it's also really annoying running this for a long period of time, so let's hope we won't have to build a basic attack build. I do intend to build a signature or just purely high damage good stuff sort of build here, so let's hope we will find those kind of items. For our dash we'll use Thunderline, which I just really like. It's very versatile, it's easy to use, it has 2 charges, it strikes an area around where you dashed from, effectively stunning the enemies for a short period of time, and striking lightning on them. Then the upgrade is a little larger and shocks the enemies for a slightly longer duration, which is neat. It's a good damage up. Not much to be said about that, honestly. Then we get Thunder Drop as our standard for mobility. This is a jump, which is neat. It leaves essentially a thunder line area where we dash to. And then you can also see this little bit of lightning where we start the dash, which does not in fact deal any damage, as you could tell right there. Now once you upgrade it, it creates a secondary aftershock. So where you land, instead of just one thunder line proc, it will basically just cast a second shortly thereafter. And then finally, for our signature, we have the dreaded Arc Sphere, which is lovely. I love this. This is just essentially a buffed up version of our signature, of our basic Arcana here. Casting forth this fully charged sphere right away, which will stun our enemies for a short period of time, dealing okay damage. Wouldn't say it's great. 72 as you can tell there. It's pretty fine. It's nothing wild. This entire build is nothing wild. I'm just looking forward to how these are going to interact with each other. Now this says generate a stationary sphere of arcing current. Sphere is large and has longer duration. I'm assuming there's also stuns our foes. And then when you get the signature version of this, something that I'm very much looking forward to, it's gonna look like so. And I am very much hoping to be able to spam that out as often as humanly possible. Now, Thunderdrop is the only Arcana here that I would say has a little bit of nuance to it, as this basic is a charged Arcana, albeit it's not necessarily one that I want to tap. I always want to charge when I'm doing this. So none of them really have a lot of depth, but Thunderdrop is a jump, and therefore it grants you iframes, therefore you can jump either in place or towards a location, like so. And any kind of jump, any and every kind of jump, will grant you iframes, meaning that you can't take any damage for the duration. But right after landing, you can't really do anything, you're left vulnerable. So you gotta time these very well, especially the Thunder Drop, because it leaves you very vulnerable, as we will see multiple times. I strongly dislike it, but this is a full Thunder build. What can I do, right? I'm going Thunder Drop. I do kind of like it. So, before I keep going back on what I just said, moving on. This is really quite a simple build to grasp. I wonder how hard it's gonna be to play it. Now, the intended build playstyle, I can't really tell just yet. Just from assembly, it's kind of hard to tell these things apart. I believe it's a mix of aggressive and passive, probably more so on the passive side of things, since these abilities are very slow and not super powerful to use. So especially when you are down bad, when you don't have a lot of health or you don't have a lot of damage, your resources are just they're coming to an end, you do probably want to be very careful I am gonna be trying to play rather passively here and then strike whenever I can. Find openings to hit as many enemies as possible with these rather spherical, rather small range abilities, actually. If you compare this to something like a Claymore or an Explosive Fireball, or any of the builds I previously played, all of these have a rather small area to hit with. They're not necessarily narrow line skill shots by any means, but they are certainly not that easy to control large groups of enemies with. In terms of potential problems, I would definitely list that large groups of enemies, at least at the beginning, are going to be quite a hassle. Maybe enemies that are resistant to the stun effect, like jumpers or golems and the likes, are a bit of an issue. Probably boss clear as well. I can't imagine these Arcana putting in a lot of heavy lifting regarding killing bosses. So we're probably gonna strongly look for a bunch of damage early on so we can even tackle our first boss. I would assume that. Obviously, we want to also avoid lightning and earth dungeon. I wouldn't say earth is that big an issue. We don't have any projectiles. These are all melee, which isn't that lovely. We can boost all melee potentially and then get a massive damage boost to all of our abilities. Well, all meat except the dash, but who cares really for that? It's not supposed to deal a lot of damage. So we don't necessarily have to avoid Atlas. I would definitely avoid Lightning though. The Thunder Twins are a bit of a pain in the ass to fight, especially since they also summon in a rather large area, so you have to pretty much Thunder Drop the summons, and then if you don't end up killing them, maybe you don't have enough damage, or maybe you miss, you whiff the hit, yeah, you're kind of fucked. You take a lot of damage. So I would rather avoid having to fight them later and instead fight them at the very first. I would suggest we do that. I would assume we do that. Okay, it just makes sense, logically speaking. In terms of recommended items in Arcana, that's what I'm curious to find out about. I would assume that it's all about signature charge, since this is a fairly powerful signature. If you can consistently charge it, so Volatile Gemstone, increase signature damage, maybe increased crit chance and crit hit damage. That I would imagine might also work greatly to the strength of this build. Maybe also strengthen the shock effect, since we do apply that quite a lot. And then the likes, probably pixies, stones, and so on and so forth. I would assume that stones do us only good in this build, since we don't really have a lot of AoE control around our character, and the stones would help a lot with that. And then just the usual, I would assume. So high damage, crit chance, healing, and so on and so forth. But let's find out together. I'm quite excited to find out. Now this, unlike the runs I previously committed to, might end up in a little bit of a disaster. As I did fiddle around with these abilities a little bit, and I noticed that I am very bad at using them. Without failure, really. All of these, I am pretty bad at using. Okay. Woo. I gotta get comfortable with the stun duration. Now that's an issue of Thunderline straight up. You cannot do that. If you just dash into an enemy, they will just attack you. Maybe we should combine it with our signature, or just use it as an escape. Gonna tap back to kick them off. Let me adjust something quick. My cable is getting in the way a lot here. This should be slightly better. Okay, could have been worse so far. Could have been better. Get your ball lightning out of here, man. Want to kill the summoner first. think I definitely want to bail here. Just play around my signature. I'm really afraid of the Lancers. I do want these to teleport behind me so I can dash into the Lancer. But maybe this is the only way of doing it, just by kiting them around. Oh wow, what a room. It's a lot of trouble. Maybe we have to occasionally take some damage here. I am tapping this here as to stun them slightly more efficiently. Maybe we do have to kite a lot. Maybe tap a lot to stun them with our charged basic. Yeah, hit all of them. Sweet. That is what we always should strive to do. Now let's get up to the green merchant first. He might have something good for us in stock. And not so much. He has a thunderstone. I do like that. And he has the copper pipe. Increased duration is not exactly what I'm looking for, but it should get the job done. Let's get these two. Not getting the ice cube, because that just gets negated by the shock status effect. Gotta be patient with this one. Yeah, that seems to be an okay way, dashing behind our enemies and then arc spearing them. Like so, because it is definitely fast enough to do that on floor 1, probably on floor 2 as well, since the enemies are not super fast there. Now the signature should kill without failure. For now, anyway. We will probably have to worry about that at some point as well. As it is not super high base damage, it hits many times in small chunks. I'm just tapping here as to group them up slightly better. And then won't even use my Thunder Drop because I already know I would just be hit and it doesn't really do as much as my signature. Maybe I do want some cooldown reduction for that signature. That does feel like it would help out greatly. Glove of Patience might seem like an okay pickup. Increase basic counter damage and reduce the charge time for any basic with the charge balance. Increase cooldown for all Arcana. That's a pretty big downside considering that we have a jump simply to avoid boss attacks, so we don't want an increased cooldown on that. Whereas the Perfect Time Crystal is essentially, effectively, cooldown reduction on our signature, which is pretty neat. Okay, not doing too poorly here. What do we want to upgrade? Probably our Thunder Drop. As it is quite unlikely that I will ever, on later floors, try to full cast my basic attack. It's just so sluggish. I don't think I can destroy projectiles using these. Maybe using my signature, I don't know. Gonna thunder behind him. Oh wow. This really does seem to keep him stunned. Maybe this does work into bosses then. I don't think I need lightning aspect. The heroic blaze is definitely an interesting pickup. I don't think I can go for that effectively. So I'm moving on here. Why can I probably not go for Heroic Blaze effectively? Because it is super melee range. Super up close melee range. It is very clunky and sluggish to use, similarly to Thunderdrop and a boss like Sura. Quite frankly, he will just wait it out and then beat me up right after. Only try to tap my signature here, as I feel like the movement on it while charging it and moving is so minute. It just has, it out knockbacks the movement, so I knock enemies away before I can even try to land the final hit. So I should probably only try and tap it instead of trying to get it fully charged. I am pretty much always willing to trade some health in turn for dealing slightly more damage. As especially early on, you do end up getting quite a lot of health orbs for free. Oh, this is annoying. I missed that. These are all lightning. Prepare for a beating. That seems to be an okay combo. Comboing straight up. Oh wow. Love how the room just unlocked. Comboing straight up into a charge signature, because there's pretty much no delay in between using a charge signature and a regular ability. So we take away the massive downside from Thunderdrop. Same there, I believe, because the enemies were stunned or shocked just long enough for the Thunderdrop. You'll run it unable to do anything, duration to wear off. So far, this build seems like an interesting challenge. I hate the summoners. Come on, hit the barrel. Stun them against the wall, it seems to be the best case. I do have a signature, I should hurry up. Seems like there's no room in range. Oh, never mind, we still got it. Group them up. Oh wow, that still hit me. Love the better shock effect. That's definitely coming in handy. 2 upgrades, basic and the Thunderline dash. That's good. I feel like candies and all these basic Arcana related items that I would usually love on a build do not really do much on a charged, unenhanced. And by enhanced this time I mean using Fueled Berserk, or Fueled Berserk Arcana. So this is probably pretty terrible with this charged Arcana. I would assume anyway, it doesn't hit that often. Maybe it is good. I don't know. I don't know how this interacts with it. Either way, I'm gonna have to wait before buying. I see a lot of good stuff. I see this, I see that, this, and this. And then the 2 upgrades. We might also find our the Robe Merchant, whatever the hell they're called. The Cloth Maker? Nah. Just do this. Knock them off. It's faster. Oh, thank God. Got the barrels to proc. Paranomassacon, another basic Arcana related item, and then Double Trouble. Double Trouble seems like it would be fantastic for this build. Also very dangerous, since we might overextend a lot, trying to get cocky and playing like we actually know the build well. It's more so a personal issue than a build related issue, but it's still an issue. Still a major issue, I'd say. run ruining at times. Any thieves in there? No. Then I'll attack you through the corner. How does that sound? Just abusing the game, huh? Being able to shoot through walls surely is useful at times. Okay, let's finish this up. Oh, it's a thieves' room. Anything else? No? Not even an obstacle in there, wow. Greedy bastard. Okay, in that case, let's get these two right away. I don't want to wait on the drop here, even though it could be an Arcana rewards card and the likes. I do like Chaos Scanner, could be helpful, could come in handy. I do like Bone Mail, but it's a little late for that, I think. I don't typically enjoy combining Armor and Double Trouble, they don't really go that well together. I do like Token of Elegance a lot. I think this is going to come in very handy. I don't enjoy trading 100 health here anyway, because I will very likely take a I will very likely take a beating from the upcoming boss. Especially considering that I already got Double Trouble. Let's get Chaos Scanner. This is effectively 10% damage increase instead of the 5 because of the Double Trouble, which is sweet. Oh, fuck that up. That's fine. Now we can evaluate even better when to use and when not to use our beloved Thunder Drop. Knapsack, that is very helpful. Now we don't have enough to afford any of this crap. So I'd say let's just move on to the boss. We dealt okay damage though. Yeah, we did some dumbassery, but that's kind of the part of it, right? That's kind of the joy of trying out something new. You can be a dumbass. You're not supposed to be an expert. I was really intensely looking at my signature charge bar there. I definitely fucked that up. Should have definitely used a different combination of abilities there. That was suboptimal. Like tapping. No, tapping doesn't get the job done either. Okay, so we actually have to charge it all the way through. Because tapping, there's just a massive delay in between the tapping, during which the signature charge will almost completely decay. Like, all the signature charge we just accrued will just decay in that short period of time. Super annoying. So you do want to keep committing this. And then I probably want evening gloves as well, so that job becomes a lot easier, speeding up that process. Thankfully, I got a water dungeon here. That's going to be rather simple. And then the last dungeon is going to be Earth. Yikes, man. Yet again, I missed the barrels in this room. Always detrimental. I do want to head towards the merchant first, as he could be selling me a Glove of Midas, for example. Yeah, fuck you, dude. Learn aiming. How about that? Another painting part and a very, very strong defensive relic. Now, the Thunderdrop relic... What the fuck am I saying? Thunderdrop Arcana doesn't necessarily have to be upgraded here, so let's get this right away. It is super useful, thank you very much. Oh, wrong button. I tried to use Glacial Spear there. Missed it. Thought I had put it onto the melee slot, which is the most fourth right slot. Now, Chaos Scanner definitely synergizes with the build a lot. It allows me to visually see and not just simply have to guess when I can actually use Thunder Drop without any major danger. I love that a lot. It's super helpful. It's not about the 5% damage increase, don't get me wrong, that's very nice, but this item is not so ridiculously strong on certain builds because of a little itsy bitsy bit of extra damage. No, no, no. It's all about knowledge. Knowledge is power, even in this game. Just gonna push him off. Just gonna stun him into oblivion. Gyroscopic Inkwell, that's pretty good. Okay. Following this trail. Come on, dude. You know I can't do this well. I always want to get rid of the barrels in case, just in case, that I have to backtrack towards that room, kiting enemies around. You never know, right? You never know. I would rather die trying than dying stupid to one of those barrels. Well, I suppose both ways to die would be stupid, but at least one would be honorable. Trying to better myself, trying to learn how to get rid of the barrels. While the other one would just be straight up ignorance. Thank you very much for this. Bye bye token. Oh wow, I forgot that froze him. Yeah, that's exactly what I meant. I froze him, he unfroze immediately, just went for my throat. I forgot that the Glacial Spear actually does freeze him straight up. Massive misplay there. What, did I just take 100 damage for that hit? I would assume so. Maybe he even crit for more, I don't know. Didn't pay attention there. Should've. Absolutely should've. Okay, not worth coming back for the obstacles right here. I do have a knapsack, don't I? Yeah, I do. So, a lot of reliable healing, which is great. Definitely taking this. The best defensive item in the game. Love the stun duration at this point. Yep. Bye-bye. Ooh, Shark Mask! That is really nice. Very pleasant. Good timing for you to drop by and say hello. I'm not too optimistic here that I'm gonna get past Atlas, or even to Atlas. But at least so far I've been having a good time. So the build has definitely fulfilled its purpose. Talking about serving a purpose, could you please not be such a massive piece of shit? I hate this room with a passion. Oh yeah, let's clear this first. It's a much bigger threat. Just gonna kite them around while they are CC'd. Oh shit! You son of a fuck. Fuck off. On later falls, you don't even have a chance to do that. To do what I just did. They are just too fast for you. Luckily, we are not on the final floor yet. My god, I would hate myself. I hate being frozen. It's such a shit feeling. Whether it is by Sura's hand, by Freya, in PvP, I believe that doesn't even work. I don't recall, but that would feel just as fucking terrible, if not more so. Or by traps, by the traps that archers leave, frozen archers, by thieves, by random lances from frozen lances. It's super annoying. I hate that sound effect. I love inflicting it, and I absolutely despise when people inflict it onto me. Oh, I would love the upgrade at this point. Water dungeon? More like easy mode. Come on, teleport. Wait, he fell into the pit. Damn. Okay. Luxury handbag, that's a good pickup. Now we only need to upgrade our Thunder Drop. Oh, come on. Cushion flip-flops. Other than that, I don't really see anything. The pandemic pouch is certainly fun. Is it part of the Hunter Satchel? Well, it's not combined with couple pilots for sure, so maybe not that great of a pick, but I do like it a lot though. It's pretty fun. And Lays is also pretty good. Just extra lightning. I do like that a lot. Cushion are fantastic for obvious reasons, allowing us to tank a lot of damage. But we don't exactly get there fast, you feel me? So getting signature charge is quite a chore for this build, as we are super slow in all of our tracks, and therefore I don't think that'd be too great of a pickup. However, I do really like the pandemic pouch. I will be grabbing that for sure. Super nice pickup for the floors. Very fun, very pleasing, very pleasant. Just like so. That was the first spread. Straight up. Fuck you. None of that shit. As long as I'm here, none of that shit. Whoops. Now we do get the Thunder Drop upgrade. Sweet. So then let's also retrieve the luxury handbag. And then we are full. Anything else? I don't think so. We could grab the Lays Jump later. Do we really have anything to leave behind? I wouldn't say so. I think we got pretty okay items. Pretty nice note to finish the run on. Holy moly. And then the Quill, which is a very good damage up long term. Now I don't want to sell my pandemic pouch right away again, but as is, it is by far the worst item I got. I don't know. I do want to keep the Pathfinders for now. I will discard it on 3rd floor, but for now I do like keeping it. Same for these two. Quill is just super reliable. But you know what? Maybe that's not what this run is all about. Maybe this run we're just gonna have fun. We have a lot of very cheap items that are easily discardable, like the Thunderstone, for example. You don't really need them, right? When you already have that much electrocution. Pandemic Pouch is completely unnecessary. I just like looking at it. Bye. Bye. I would love Megalodon Tooth. That'd be sweet. Even though not super applicable into Sora, still very sweet. Man, the Quill. What, are we losing out on what, like 30% damage increase from that? Probably. I would assume so. Certainly a lot of damage we are leaving on the line. Just to have our way with Pandemic Pouch. But I'm willing to do so. Not so much for your entertainment, but for mine. Okay, Earthen Dungeon. Not that big a deal, right? We can just breeze through here. As per usual, very good damage on the Dragon Arcana. Love to see it, just obliterating those thieves with a double trouble. See, we don't even need the Quill. I mean, it would probably absolutely devastate Sora, but nah, man. We don't need that shite. We do find Royal Flush, which is very nice. Again, I can't even resist the damage ups at this point. They are getting too good, okay? Quill was already like, oh, you want to pass it up on? My man, you need a lesson. You need to be taught a lesson about this game. But then Royal Flush came along for my all lightning build. Which isn't all lightning anymore, but that's beside the point. I just can't leave that behind, okay? What? You penetrated the barrel? Well done, man. Definitely gotta tip my hat to you. Now you only dealt 5 damage to me, 5 times 2. But it was enough to leave a mark on me forever. Albeit an emotional mark. Yeah, fuck you guys. Hello, Doctor. What is your name, actually? I always forget. Dr. Song. Well, that's probably why. Is that supposed to be Chinese or something? It kind of sounds like it. Okay. Maybe it's just referring to her liking singing or something. I don't know, is odd, man. It's kind of a weird name. Gonna back off just a little. Not to risk anything, I don't want to be knocked down and then stun locked or some shit. Oh, any lightning in here? No. Would have been helpful using Royal Flush. Just slightly up in our lightning damage. Not that we would need that, but... no, without the core... Man, I really should have taken that core. Just leave the pouch in the dusk. It's a bad buy, okay? Everyone makes those dumb decisions from time to time. Or was it a bad buy? I mean, it did bring us joy, didn't it? So at the end of the day, it was certainly worth. I do miss it already. Granted, it's gonna be incredibly useless. From here on, going forward... Man, I really regret not having taken that Quell. Sometimes the repercussions of being a dumbass or stubborn are certainly hurtful. Lesson learned, game. Lesson learned, okay? Stop punishing me now. Okay, that was very risky. I could have easily been hit there by a plethora of things, but might as well take the risk. Now, I do like the marble. I'm not saying that's a good pickup, but... I do like it. I do also like the pixie. It's probably slightly better than the Thunderstone, honestly. Either way, Thunderstone is not super helpful since that's not gonna do shit into Sura. We do want to replace that. We do also want to replace the knapsack, but we could also just keep our money for sooner or later. Pouch is just as useless. I really regret having not picked up that quill. 10k damage. We hit the 10k on spells on the floor. Love it. I'm loving it. Burger King. Come here, bitches. Just seeing if I could hit multiple trees there. Yes, I could. The angle was great. I'm surprised that did not destroy the projectile. I would expect it to. Let's check this out before we forget. What the hell is your problem, man? My god, the damage! Loving it. Imagine that with a quill. Would have been so much easier. Now we proceed going very weird and seemingly unstructured, planless ways. Get that money. I'm such a cutie. Such a cute little shark boy. Hello, Pinata. How you doing? Now what do we do with you? I think we do something like this. Yep. Dragon didn't deal nearly as much damage as I thought it would, but that's fine. Never seen that attack. Fun fact. Talking about the night attack there. I could imagine what it would be like. I compared that to the water attack, which you just side strafe and you're good to go. But I have in fact never seen that attack before. Never actually paid attention to it. As is with most abilities in the game. Well, with the small exception of archers and summoners, which you just see too often. And archers are also super fast, so it's not exactly easy to miss them. I don't think it's very likely that you've never seen at least all of the elemental archers. At least once, right? Should have not been talking so much there. Definitely got me distracted. But I only took damage once, so that's cool. We do count in iterations of 50 damage taken after all, since we are running double jump. I had not hit them equally, that's why one of them had more HP than the rest. Was not expecting that. Same here, I was not expecting them to be stuck on the ledge, just instead to dash right over. I have a lot to learn. Aha, not enough damage. Is the delay. Okay, we can't Considering getting the supply crate, because we have a lot of money, secret wildcard is gonna be pretty nifty. It does work into regular bosses. It does not work that well into Sura. You can't stunlock Sura, for obvious reasons. He's the end boss, so that wouldn't make much sense. We'll get the supply crate right away. And then I think I want to lose my Thunderstone pretty soon in order to make room for the double signature. Or maybe not. Again, it might not be super beneficial. Toxic Bolus, we only got the Pinata. This is 3-2, so there is no second chances. Might as well lose the Thunderstone then. Or the Copper Pipe, rather. I mean, Electrocution is great, but it doesn't do anything into Sura. The Froststone at least deals a little bit of damage. That is fantastic. We could get many, many hits off. Many signature charges all at once. Okay. Now this is very risky though. You really have to take a bunch of damage if you're planning to do that. Maybe we want the Bone Mail as well. That's gonna come in handy. How much armor can this give you though? Like up to 20%? In that case, this would be fantastic. If it's just 15%, that's still okay. Anything below that, I wouldn't even consider taking it. I will grab it. Oh, that is really good. Gyroscopic is also really good. So what do we get rid of? Not these. Not that. Maybe the Chaos Scanner at this point. It's just 10% damage increase compared to the others. That's a little laughable. So let's get this, and we should be absolutely awesome to go. Oh, that's a lot of items up there. Usually I won't leave that many items behind on a stage. Ah. I missed. That's fine. Okay, we find a ward, which we can't do anything with at all, so move it on. Now, we are not going into this fight with a lot of health, but that's fine. I do want to change signatures and then essentially tank all the damage using Kasim's Calcifying Bone Mail and healing back up using Blades of Sympathy. Let's see if that works. It doesn't work for all signatures. Maybe this just doesn't hit often enough. Maybe I just whiff on Atlas, because I'm not that good on Atlas. Lately, I've been super duper greedy fighting Atlas. Maybe I shouldn't have picked up Megalodon Tooth. But I do like the potential, okay? I am all about potential right now. I do keep missing its controller aim. I'm just not aiming diagonally right now for whatever reason. I just can't do it. I'm surprised that didn't connect. Come over here, big boy. Show yourself. Okay. Puffy Parker, and then the Lightning Vest. Oh, sorry, Idealist's Vest. Just really reminds me of the Thunder Twins. Because of the color scheme. I do like Puffy Parker. This is insanely strong as a defensive item. Maybe better than Gyroscopic Inkwell. Tough choice. Very, very tough decision making here today. What is more important, not dying right away, tanking all the damage, or actually stacking up the signature? Probably stacking up the signature so I can even pull off the combo in the first place. Calcifying is indeed 20%. That is fantastic. Royal Flush is a lot of damage. I will need Smoke. I will need Canvas. Shark Mask is very, very helpful. Though probably damage is not necessarily the way to go here. Maybe it's more so about not being able to take critical hits. I do have Kasim, so I shouldn't be taking too many hits. I don't think I should worry about that too much. Okay, I'm not buying a Lightning Arcana here either, even though it would slightly increase or uptick the damage on my Royal Flush. It would decrease my damage using a Luxury Handbag. So let's attempt finding Sora here. At least we got here. I'm already glad that we made it. I did not expect that. I'm gonna be honest. I know myself. That was a lot of damage, my friend. And boom. And stay right here. Perfect. Love the potential. Mwah! Had I taken slightly more damage, I would have probably showed off the healing capability slightly better, but yeah, he didn't really end up getting to hit me. That was sweet. Very fun. I am still not technically enlightened about what stun does in this game and how good it can be, but I did definitely feel that the enemies were stunted a little longer in between. So I only had to do this, and then I could even follow that up sometimes with a Thunder Drop, and they wouldn't be able to attack me in time. So I definitely did feel like this, the Electrifying Smock did have quite a large impact onto my gameplay. Not to say that, well, let alone that the signature charge generated on this is nutty. I had a lot of signature charge generation and keeping my signature charge, and then requiring more signature charge for this. So I did generate quite a substantial amount of signature charge, considering that I'm running very sluggish, rather not so much generating signature charge Arcana. If that makes any sense at all. I feel like I did do a bunch of heavy lifting just by finding these good item combinations, and I got a little bit of luck involved. I got a few nice items such as Double Trouble and Volatile Gemstone. Definitely didn't have a guarantee for those. Otherwise, the Quill would have been a very nice pickup as well. Wouldn't have let the fight be over so fast, but be a little more entertaining. But I still like this a lot. It's just all about potential with this build. Either you get hit or you don't. Either way, you die a hero. You die brave. You die in a brave way. You go all ham. So in the end, I could play super aggressively exactly how I wanted to. And therefore, this build is definitely getting an approval rating from me. As long as I can cater this build towards my playstyle, in my book, that's a fun build to play. That's a viable build, and that's a build that I might try again. So, as a final conclusion here, thank you very much for watching, and as per usual, you know what's coming next. Have a good morning, have a good day, or have a good night, wherever you are, and I will catch you in the next video. Until then, bye-bye!